Now we're going to take a look at the main event coming up with Dominic Mazada and Justin King.
Justin King, 5 wins, 2 losses, coming in from Indiana, taking on the Honey Badger, Dominic Mazada, who is 8-1, has all kinds of attention on the national scene, and this may be the last time we get to see him. But first, let's take a look at the keys to victory for Justin King.
Well, Justin King, definitely he's going to have to push his pace. He's definitely going to have to follow his big right hand, or big left hand, and put Dom on his back, which may or may not prove to be bad, but we'll see how that goes.
And what does Dom need to do in this fight?
Remember that he is a jiu-jitsu black belt. Work his angles. He's got highlight real knockouts, but he's got to stay patient, work his angles, and use his jiu-jitsu.
I like that little reverse top to bottom instead of bottom to top.
Sometimes you got to keep him on our toes.
Ready for the main event. Jake Digman is going to bring these guys out.
The following contest is a professional catch-weight bout in the Pinnacle FC featherweight division. It is brought to you by the Rehab Center, and it is your main event of the evening. Introducing first, making his way down the aisle into the blue corner, please welcome Justin King.
Jesse, we had a chance to talk to Justin King earlier on in the night, coming out of Indie Boxing and Grappling, as you see on the t-shirt there. Wrestled collegiately at Indiana University and now makes his home at Indie Boxing and Grappling, and said, Andrew Holbrook is kind of the guy that's the name there now, but that gym used to be called Integrated Fighting, which people know is Chris Lytle's gym.
Yeah, Chris Lytle, big-time UFC vet, and Justin King was telling us that he still trains with him and he's still very good. So when you're working with that sort of caliber of guy, you have no choice but to get better. Like the old saying goes, iron sharpens iron, and I think we're going to see some of that rub off here tonight. But Justin King, huge guy. I mean, I just can't get over the size of him. I memean, I know we're kind of dealing with that little bit of a smaller of a weight class, but boy, he's just broad-shouldered and a big, strong fella.
Right, Justin King, 5-2 as a pro, also had a 7-1 amateur career before he made the jump over to the professional ranks, and he is a southpaw. Admitted, interestingly enough, that he's a little nervous. You don't hear a lot of times guys say that you can tell a lot of times that they're nervous, but they won't come out and actually say it. But he said, I'm a little bit nervous for this fight because I know that Dominic Mazada is a really tough guy.
Well, I think if you just Google Dominic Mazada, you're going to find some things that are quite terrifying for you if you're due to go into the cage with him. Most recently, that highlight knockout that he had at the most recent Pinnacle, Lord have mercy, I just don't know if I've ever seen a finish quite that spectacular. I mean, top to bottom in that fight, Mazada was just highly impressive.
Right, had the head kick that knocked Veron Webb down, and then finished it with a rear naked choke. 2 for 2 on first round finishes under the Pinnacle banner, and we're going to bring out the Honey Badger.
And his opponent, making his way down the aisle into the red corner, please welcome Dom Mazada.
Dom Mazada, 8 wins, 1 loss. You hear the thunderous ovation here in Cheswick, Pennsylvania. Mazada hailing from nearby Lower Borough, and this is a guy who has tons of attention all over the place. He's been on Restaurant Impossible. He was featured on MMA Junkie, the biggest MMA website in the world, leading up to this fight, and he's just been everywhere.
I mean, I don't know in this town who has a bigger ovation, whether it's Dom Mazada or Mark Cherico. I think that they could go head-to-head on volume for crowd, but for my money, I got to go with Mazada. I mean, just being here with the electricity that's in this air and as much of a highlight that he puts on every Pinnacle fight, I can't help but be excited anytime he walks out.
And you see he is the Pinnacle Bantamweight champion. As we take a look at the tail of the tape, Jesse, what stands out in this one?
You know what? This one's pretty right down the middle. I think Dominic Mazada definitely has a clear advantage in experience, and he's in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, hasn't failed him yet. Now, Justin King is a good wrestler. Tail of the tape, though, we're looking at a pretty even matchup.
As I mentioned, the Pinnacle FC Bantamweight champ. This is a catchweight non-title bout, but Dom, you see, doesn't come out with the belt. He says, I don't need to come out with the belt. Everyone knows I'm the champ. I don't have to flaunt it.
Yeah, and what a great attitude for him there, too. You know, the fight game has a lot of respect to it, and everybody wants to fight for that title. And for somebody not to disrespect the belt, but just to say, look, everybody knows I'm the champ. I don't have to rub it in anybody's face. I mean, that's an approach that I don't know that I've ever encountered yet in this sport.
At the Mat Factory, you see all of it. You see Dylan Weston, who picked up a victory earlier tonight. Rick Borowski, a great tight-knit group there at the Mat Factory. They've already put one fighter in the UFC, and Chris Dempsey and Jesse. I think this guy may be on the cusp of being fighter number 2 from the Mat Factory inside the octagon.
Well, if it's not the UFC, it's got to be somewhere. And if it's not, somebody's asleep at the wheel. I mean, Dom Mazada is every bit as good as any other fighter that you're ever going to see on TV. I mean, now is the time, and I'm just grateful that we're going to get to see him fight tonight here at Pinnacle. But I don't know how much longer that's going to be a reality. Somebody's going to have to snag up this young talent and let him go to work.
And I know he hates when people harp on it, but it's probably the thing that's driven him the most in his career. That loss to Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah.
He has been a different fighter since that loss. He has turned the corner, I believe, on his MMA career and really been more impressive than I ever could have imagined. And we'll see him taking on Justin King in the main event, and Jake Digman's going to give us our official introductions.
The following contest is a catchweight professional bout in the Pinnacle FC featherweight division. It is brought to you by the Rehab Center. This bout is sanctioned by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission under the offices of Executive Director Mr. Greg Serb. Your commissioner representing at cage side is Mr. Rick Steigerwald. Your judges for this contest are Todd Krishka, Kevin Armstrong, and Paul Reiner. Your timekeeper for this bout is Stephen Kurth. And your physician at cage side is Dr. Frank Costa. And now, to all of our viewers watching around the world on standthemup.org, we would like to invite you in here live to the Shriner Center in Cheswick, Pennsylvania. We have reached the Pinnacle because this is your main event of the evening! Introducing first, in the Rehab Center blue corner, he fights out of Indianapolis, Indiana. He stands 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighs in at 140.5 pounds, representing indie boxing and grappling with a professional record, 5 wins, 2 losses. Please welcome Justin King. His opponent in the southpaw red corner, he fights out of New Kensington, Pennsylvania. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 141 pounds, representing the Mat Factory with a professional record, 8 wins, 1 loss. Please welcome Dominic the Honey Badger Mazzotta. This bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. When the action begins, your referee is Mr. Chip Snyder.
Okay, guys, you guys are the main event. Show everybody why you're the main event. We went over the rules in the back. I expect you to obey them and be at all times. I want a clean, fair fight. Any questions, red? Any questions, blue? Todd should go back.
All right, main event of the evening. Justin King in the black, trimmed in white. Dominic Mazada in the all-black. Chip Snyder is the third man in the cage. Jesse, this is going to be a fun one.
Boy, I'm sure the people at home could feel the electric coming through the screen because I'm bursting at the seams for this one.
And you see immediately Justin King coming out in his southpaw stance. Open up for that straight right hand from Dominic Mazada, and also he loves to throw that right head kick. You saw him. He's finished a fight with it early on in his career, knocked out Jeremiah Yeager, also put Veron Webb on his back in his last fight.
And he did mention to us that he is, straight kick there from Mazada. But as I was saying, we just mentioned to us that he's naturally right-handed but fights southpaw because of his wrestling background.
Mazada circling on the outside. And you'll see a lot in his fights. He'll take, a minute or so to kind of feel his opponent out.
Yeah, Mazada's really becoming an expert at judging distance.
Mazada now switching stances. And one of the things that I mentioned, he is a shorter fighter, but he fights very, very long for a fighter. And that's from his traditional martial arts background, the Taekwondo and also the karate, as King looks for the takedown. And Mazada, nice takedown defense there. King's got to set that up as Mazada looks for the spinning wheel kick there. King just out of the range of Mazada. You'll see Mazada throw some exotic strikes. He'll throw some big kicks. He'll try to crack Justin King in the head. Nice little side kick there.
Yeah,
Don't see that a lot in MMA.
He's really a fun fighter to watch. I mean, he's kind of tough to prepare for because of those unorthodox strikes or those kind of wild, flashy kicks.
And you see that Mazada is able to stay on the outside because he is able to fight long and doesn't have to worry about getting inside and letting Justin King grab his hips and get a hold of him to get that takedown. King also said he has a background in Greco-Roman wrestling as well, so you'll see the upper body wrestling.
And he's got that single leg wrapped up here. Let's see if he can try to finish.
And Mazada is, as they say, one of the toughest guys at the Mat Factory to take down. Trains on a daily basis, guys like Dylan West, and also Chris Dempsey, a former national champ who is about 70 pounds heavier than him. And a lot of times Dempsey can't even take him down. But King now looking for that ankle as Mazada trying to stay on his feet here against the wrestler. Mazada able to keep his balance, push the wrestler off of him. They make it back to the center of the cage. Mazada kind of turning his back almost, really not showing any respect for the striking of Justin King here in this first round.
Yeah, we're not quite seeing the same Dom Mazada that we're used to. I mean, usually by this point, he's engaged at some point. He seems like he's got it figured out, that he's able to rush in and kind of take advantage of something. I think that Justin King's keeping him guessing here a little bit.
Yeah, King is doing a good job. Not a ton of head movement, but you see Dom again looking for that spinning back kick. He's got to set that up a little bit, but now Dom overcommits there a little bit. King, as soon as he did, change levels and put Dominic Mazada on his back. And Dom, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, as we mentioned, already back to his feet, but King has his back. Just over a minute and a half left to go here in this first round. 140-pound catchweight bout here at Pinnacle FC12. What a night it has been. We are in our main event of the evening. Justin King looking to finish a second takedown here against Dominic Mazada.
And one of the things I'm noticing here about Mazada is that he's still calm and collected. He's not running out of gas or anything. He's very, very deliberate on what he's doing.
Those elbows there from Dominic Mazada are scoring points. Nothing really, really heavy there, but they're definitely scoring points against Justin King. And referee Chip Snyder, as we've seen a couple of times tonight, separates the two fighters as we had a bit of a stalemate there up against the cage. Dom with the straight right hand now looks for a takedown of his own. Picks up King and slams
Big
him
slam
onto
the
head.
back.
Takes his
And
back.
misses trouble.
Has the rear naked choke and it's tight. And King not looking to tap. King doing a good job fighting the choke. Really just gritting his teeth, biting down on his mouth guard and fighting through it.
Yeah, he's
but this
burying
is
that
deep.
chin. He's going to work out.
Good rear naked choke defense by Justin King.
And here
as
comes the
Mazada
arm.
look for the arm bar. You'll see him chaining the submissions. 10 seconds left to go here. He has the triangle position. Not going to be able to finish it most likely.
Yeah,
from
but
this
he's not going to
position.
let go of it either. He's going to wait for that angle to come through, and then it's going to come. He's going to try to look to
We
scoop.
have the end of the round. Good
Close.
job there by Dominic Mazada as Justin King takes a big, deep breath in between rounds. He has not made it to his feet yet. He got winded on that slam.
We're going to take another look here.
Big slam there as he lands on his shoulder and head.
Yeah, you could tell by his lack of a response after that slam when Dom was just able to jump onto his back quickly. Justin King was out of it. He didn't have anywhere to breathe, and his body was
fighting
reacting.
off of that rear naked choke defense, though, against the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. That was all heart there from Justin King, and I think you got to give that first round to Dominic Mazada, but it'll be interesting to see if Justin King is even able to come out for the second round here. And looks like he is walking around. He's in a bad way here. He looks like he wants to continue, gets his mouthpiece back in, and we're going to have a second round. What a warrior is Justin King.
Boy, it makes me wonder if it may have been a little bit more than a wind knocked out. I mean, sometimes you can get
broken rib or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe even more the cartilage in between your ribs. I mean, that's a nasty injury in and of itself.
You see Justin King still, he's in bad shape
yeah.
here.
Yeah, that's something a little bit more than a wind.
And
Mazada
Mazada
wants the finish.
Immediately takes his back. And King, you got to give him credit, but it looks like
we're going to see what
now
kind of fight he's got left in him.
with the body triangle from Dom Mazada.
That's it. Yeah, that's
and
it.
he taps the verbal submission to the body triangle there.
It's got to be those ribs. Something had to get busted up in there. That body triangle came on, and he tapped quick.
You see, the absolute warrior is Justin King, but nevertheless, Dominic Mazada is going to move up to 9-1. Justin King still down on the mat. Not the way you want it to end, but still a big win for Dominic Mazada. He is absolutely elated. He's going to pick up a win here in the Pinnacle FC cage. Justin King still down.
Yeah, there it is.
Those ribs are in pain. Big slam, though, from Dominic Mazada. Never underestimate. Picks up a wrestler and absolutely slams him down on his head, shoulders, and neck. But it's the ribs that really are, and King having trouble getting to his feet here.
And not just any wrestler either. I mean, Justin King, like I mentioned, he's a big fella. I mean, he's big, he's broad, and he's a collegiate wrestler, too. We're not just talking about somebody from a high school background.
You've seen Justin King in his fights before really take guys and put him exactly where he wants them, and that's on their back for 15 minutes. Dominic Mazada was having none of that. He said, I'm going to take you down. I'm going to put you where I want you, which is slamming you on your head and taking your back and submitting you.
Exactly, and we've seen Justin King try to go for those takedowns, and like you mentioned, Dom Mazada, super hard to take down, great takedown defense. He's able to stop pretty much everybody at that gym, and look, it's called the Mat Factory for a reason. Those guys get in there and they grind it out. They're grapplers through and through. Any sort of grappling that you want to apply to it, be it jiu-jitsu, American wrestling, these guys are on the mats grinding it out, and he stops all those takedowns.
And Mazada doesn't have the traditional wrestling background, but training on a day in and day out basis with top-level wrestlers like Chris Dempsey, and they cycle in tons of wrestlers in just to see who can take Dominic Mazada down. It's almost like a gym challenge to see who can take the Honey Badger down as Dominic goes and checks on his opponent. Very, very respectful guy, not wanting to hurt anybody. He's going to move up to 9-1. You see Dylan Weston, who he says is his best friend, and I believe we're going to have Jake Digman give us the official result here. All the little future Honey Badgers.
Do Badgers move in packs? Will they be the Honey Badger pack? We'll get back on that one.
He's the lead Honey Badger. Now I believe we have the official decision from Jake Digman.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Chip Snyder calls a stop to the action at 18 seconds of the second round, declaring your winner by naked choke submission, Dom the Honey Badger Mazada!
All right, making my way through the posse. I thought you were kidding me last night when you said that was your entrance song, but I liked it, man. It worked out well. Great job, man. Classy as always. I think the beginning of the end of that fight was the slam. I was close up for that one. It was bad. I think that was definitely the end of it. You followed through. I'm not sure if he recovered after that. I think he hurt a rib, and you did what you did, sunk it in, and that's the end, man. Awesome fight. I know you got to be on a high right now, so I'm going to give you the mic, and you can tell us how you're feeling.
I think it was actually a spinning back kick I hit him with in the rib, and then the slam broke. My plan was to stand with him, but I got taken down twice, so I knew that I had to get the takedown back. I wanted to end up on top. I got some elevation on him, going to knock him out. The game plan pretty much worked. I got a game plan for everything. Everybody, I want to give just a thank out to my sponsors and my family, my little sister Marissa, my nephew, my brother-in-law, everybody. this is Thanksgiving Eve, so everybody, there's a lot of messed up stuff going on in the world right now. And sometimes, even myself, I think whenever something's not going my way, something's bad's happening, I think like, this sucks, but it could always be worse. And tomorrow is the day to give thanks. So tomorrow, go home and hug your family, hug your mom, kids. When you wake up, make your bed for your moms tomorrow. She deserves it. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all my sponsors again. And thanks for coming out. I'm going to let you know something. Without you guys, there is no me. Okay? This is what you guys make me want to do this. Okay? You might not believe me, but it's the truth. Whenever I come out and Clint's out here, I see everybody out here. For me, it's really inspiring. It inspires me to want to inspire these kids to do great things. And just know, whatever you do, whether you're a construction worker, teacher, fighter, football player, whatever it is, just do it to the best of your capabilities. Banker, do it to your best. Thanks, everybody. Hey, one more thing. Tonight, Stella's, come to Stella's for the after party. Bring your ticket to get in. Thank you, guys.
Hey, this guy is on the verge of big things. Keep your eye out for him. As good of a fighter as he is, he's a classier individual outside of the cage. Visit him at his restaurant, Stella's. This has been Pinnacle Fighting Championships 12. Drive home safely. Get a designated driver if you need one. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Good night.